to the demo of Project Sveltos. Here I'm going to show you the management plane, and then I'm going to register a cluster. As soon as I register the cluster, I will show that based on the previous cluster profile how the apps are getting installed over there. So let's get started by looking at the help ls. So it will list all the apps that are installed on the manager cluster. So I can see I have installed Project Sveltos and dashboard in Project Sveltos namespace. Let's check out the Sveltos clusters along with their labels. So currently I am managing two clusters with name Sveltos Dev and Sveltos QA. They have been labeled by the environment key and value of their specific type. So I would like to show you a cluster profile that I have previously installed. So this cluster profile is saying that it will get installed on any cluster that has this label environment UAT and QA. Along with that, it says it instructs to install this following helm chart of HTTP bin, and it also depends on another cluster profile. And currently the status shows that it is looking over the QA cluster and it is installed on that. So let us register another cluster with a label environment UAT and see that if they are getting installed over there. So for that I'm going to use the sveltosctl command. So here is the command sveltosctl register. I specifying the cluster name as pf9 UAT. I would like to create that in KCD namespace. I'm passing the kube config and also a label env UAT. Alright, it says that the cluster has been successfully registered with the management plane. Now let's list the cluster again. Alright, I can see that the UAT cluster has been added, and since our cluster profile mentions that whenever your cluster has a level of QA or UAT, it should go ahead and install this following application. So before checking that, let's check the cluster profile once again, and this time I'm just going to query for the status. Alright, we can see apart from the QA cluster, we are also watching the UAT cluster now. So let us see how it looks from the dashboard as well. So I have already created a service account with which I am generating a token with TTL of 24 hours, and I'm refreshing the session and I can see I have the following cluster installed over here. And if I go to the profiles, this is the cluster profiles I just showed you. The demo HTTP bin app shows us that the matching clusters are QA and UAT, and it has been provisioned successfully on both of them, and it has a dependency on demo ingress nginx, and as we can see that has been deployed as well. So as soon as you add that cluster in your fleet, all the configuration you want to install over there get installed without you lifting a finger. Alright, let us look at another use case where I'm going to install some app based on the Kubernetes version. So I have two other cluster profiles for Git T, and I have two versions of them. One is 12.1.3, another is 10.4.1. Now I would like to install the older version if the cluster version is between 31 and 33, but if my cluster is newer than equal to or newer than 1.33, I would like to install the newer version, that is 12.1.3. So for that, I can go ahead and label my cluster manually, or I can automate this using Sveltos classifiers. So how does it work? I'm just going to copy this file here, and I'm just checking if the classifier has been applied before, and now applying the classifier. Alright, as soon as the classifiers are applied, I can check the cluster labels as well to see that the classifier manager has already tagged these clusters. So the UAT cluster being 1.31 gets hasn't yet got the label, but the other two, dev and QA, has already been tagged. Maybe it's taking some time. Alright, it has been tagged as well. Now the changes, since the changes are propagated, let's see how it looks from the UI. So I am going over this cluster, and also remember, since we also have the management cluster, so it gets installed on the local as well. So it is on 1.34, so it also gets a version that is 12.1.3. So the 10.4 gets installed on UAT and dev, whereas the 12.1.3 gets installed on management and QA clusters. Now once you are done, you can also use Sveltos CTL show usage to list down all the profiles and where are they installed. It takes some time, but apart from the cluster profile, I have also one config map that is defined on the Sveltos dev cluster. I will show you what that is. So